And I know that many people, due to Corona, due to losing jobs and businesses going down and opportunities disappearing, feel like this. But whenever opportunities disappear, there are other opportunities that suddenly appear on the horizon, and it's just about embracing them. If you feel shitty in your life for whatever reason, you're facing a massive predicament, you're facing some crazy challenges, and everything seems like mission impossible, remind yourself that you had situations like this in the past and you managed to overcome them. And this may sound like one of those motivational bullshit pep talks, but it's actually the case. When you look back at your life, you will realize that you overcame challenges that at some point seemed insurmountable. It's just a fact of life. And I feel like it's important to go back in time and remind yourself of those situations, just to realize that you cannot possibly predict every single good thing that will come to you. I know from my own life that often I was stuck, right? And for example, quitting my last job, even though I had dreams of building a business, deep inside I was very insecure. I didn't know if it's gonna work. But eventually it worked, and when I looked back, I just couldn't believe, like, wow, what a crazy journey it was. And I feel like that's why it's so important to look back and to bring up and recall those situations that seemed impossible and where you made something amazing happen, because it's going to give you a lot of inspiration and a lot of drive to keep working on your future. Sometimes we get stuck, sometimes we face certain predicaments, and we feel like, when I put things together, I realize that my future is not very bright. It feels like there's no future for me. And I know that many people, due to Corona, due to losing jobs and businesses going down and opportunities disappearing, feel like this. But whenever opportunities disappear, there are other opportunities that suddenly appear on the horizon, and it's just about embracing them. So really, if you're watching this till now, then you probably can resonate. And if you struggle with something, then just really go back in time and remind yourself of all of those seemingly insurmountable situations where you managed to overcome the odds, even though you felt like, nah, there's no way I can, and then you managed to. But I feel like it all comes down to hard and smart work. You have to do the right thing, don't just work hard. I mean, I could be working really hard cleaning the flat for the entire day, probably won't make me very successful, right? So hard and smart, well-calibrated work using 80-20 principle, right? 80% of results come from roughly 20% of causes. Very few things really matter. So you identify the vital few, and then you work on those things, but you just work religiously every single day, just working on those habits, and then eventually good things will happen, right? Sometimes before something amazingly good happens to you, you have to eat some shit. Sorry for my language, but this is really the case. Sometimes you have to fall down a couple of times before you see that eureka moment and you realize, oh wow, this is what I've been working for. So anyway, just some food for thought I wanted to share with you.